my background is in cultural geography. I'm a cultural geography teacher, which is basically the beauty of diversity and the multitude of voices and contributions. Our social studies standards need to be updated. They need to make sure that they are including those voices. And as I'm so often told, it's one thing to have a committed ally of a teacher who understands this. It's much more impactful, as Lieutenant Governor says, to make sure that those histories are being told by community members to students. And I agree with you that we've seen the rise of ethnocentrism, of white supremacy, of xenophobia, and it manifests itself in violence, which we've seen. And again, right now, I'm deeply concerned with the attacks on our Asian Pacific Islander community because of the ignorance around a virus. And so it starts out with, and I think all of us on this call know this, that there's good and bad news about this white supremacy and racism. It is growing. The good news about it is it is a learned behavior. We do not have to accept it. We need to put safeguards in for hate crimes and those types of things. But the real solution is moving back up in what Darlene's asking about, making sure that our curriculum is done in a way that values all, that welcomes that, and ensures that the community's voices are being taught in a way that we don't get into this position. I mean, there's such dangerous language out there about how we teach our children. So I think you're right. If you really want to start walking back down the line to the core of a lot of our problems, one of them is that our students need this well-rounded education. So Lieutenant Governor is kind of leading up the change on social studies standards, especially around this issue. So Peggy.
Yeah, so there's sort of two paths. There's the social studies standards that are being updated, which are, this happens every 10 years. I'm grateful that the governor and I are in office as this change is happening, because the social studies standards advisory group looks like the state of Minnesota. And I think that is a big piece. The second part of it, Darlene, is we have funding in our budget for ethnic studies, because as the governor said, he certainly knows, and I absolutely know the value of that. And our kids continue to be taught one perspective of history. And then, oftentimes when they get to college, suddenly they're told the truth. And I think our young people can handle the truth a lot earlier. And it's also one of the reasons why we put Indigenous education for all also as part of our budget. So it's not just that Native kids need to learn about their own culture and history. It's that, the first 10 to 15 minutes of any conversation that I, as an Indigenous person, have with someone, we have to sort of do Indigenous 101. Our young people are living on Dakota and Anishinaabe land. They should know, and the name of our state is Minnesota, which comes from Minnesota, Makoche. And so, again, having a teacher as governor is helpful because he understands the need to have our curriculum reflect our students. And also, it is the secret sauce that opens up the door. I didn't have a teacher who looked like me until I was a sophomore at the University of Minnesota. And it was in American Indian Studies, Dr. Brenda Child, and my whole life changed. And my whole educational experience changed. And I know that my story is not unique. We shouldn't wait till our young people are sophomores in college. We should start that in kindergarten, right? Because they're ready for it.